Hello, Angela Meiritz-Reid here, Stampin' Up demonstrator based in Christchurch, New Zealand. Today I'm sharing with you how I created this handmade card using the Hello Ladybug stamp set and coordinating Ladybug Builder Punch. And I'm using some lovely new colours from Stampin' Up. This one here, which is Orchid Oasis, and this one here, Parakeet Party. I've started with the Orchid Oasis cardstock as my base. Just fold that and burnish along the edge. And the next layer I've got is the Parakeet Party, and as some of you know, I just glue a couple of sheets of cardstock. It's the ones out of the DSP, just pop them together and I just adhere them on the back of this. You can use dimensionals. I just find sometimes this is quick and easy and gives a nice even and flat surface. Just going to pop that straight on there. Make sure that's nice and even. Go. And then the next layer up, I've got this embossed white panel using this embossing folder Pretty Flowers, which is fast becoming one of my new favourites. So I'll just bring in my die cutting machine and emboss machine and just run that through. It's really pretty and got lovely flowers on it. You can use either side. So I'm just going to pop that on top. So there's just a little edge of the Parakeet Party. I just wanted to bring that in to coordinate with the leaf. Just pop that on. And the next thing I'm going to do is stamp the body of the ladybug actually, and I'm using my Stamparatus, and I've popped my bit of white cardstock because I find sometimes it's a little hard to get, sorry, I'm just going to grab this. It's a little hard to get that really dense, so I find using my Stamparatus, if I stamp on here, get a really as good a covering as I can, then press that on and give that a really good firm press. If you struggle with that, what I quite often do is just pop my elbow in and give it a rub over, and then just lift that off and see it's not quite stark there, so I'm just going to add a little bit more down the body. And then do the same thing and just press a little bit harder on that side that didn't ink quite as well. Oh, and that's great. So that was just what it needed. So just pop that out of the way and pop the lid on before I do any damage. And that does just take a few moments to dry. So when you pop it in here, just want to be careful it doesn't smudge. So once you've got that positioned where you want, just give it a good firm punch. And I'm just going to set that aside to make sure it does dry properly. And then I want to stamp two things, the leaf, and that is going to be in Parakeet Party. And when you get a new stamp pad, it is really juicy, and some people scrape some of the ink off. I prefer not to, because it will over time just ink soak in. So you can see it's a little bit bubbly, so hopefully it will. See, it's a bit patchy. So a couple of things, you can just retry that to get a better image, or stamp over it, or alternatively most of that is going to be underneath the bug, so I'm not going to worry too much. But yeah, you can just keep trying to get a better an image that you're happy with, and it will, over time, the ink will settle down into the pad. So I'm just going to, or alternatively you could use it on your Stamparatus too. I'm just going to fussy cut that. Just, it doesn't need to be too fussy, and I also find just leaving a little gap around the edge just helps. It's a little bit, you don't have to be too particular, so just it's quite curvy and easy, it's not too fiddly with this one. And as you can see, that colour has soaked in a bit more too. And of course, leaves aren't exactly perfect, are they? So, and then next I want to do the wings. So these again are with the Memento. So I want to give those a really good... Oh, actually no, it's not at all what I should be doing. Sorry, I've just got to clean that off. I'm using the wrong colour. Quickly wash that off. Putting myself in a muddle here, sorry, got you wrong. We want to do that with the Orchid Oasis. So we will stamp that onto there, and that's given us a really good clear stamp image. And then we want to use the little dots, and we're going to pop those into those gaps. So once again, give a really good stamp onto that black ink pad, and then you want to line that up over there, which can be a little bit tricky, but sometimes it works a little bit better than others. So that hasn't stamped as well either, so a couple of options. Could have done that on the Stamparatus. Alternatively, just your Stampin' Right marker is usually what my go-to, and just touch up those little areas that haven't stamped as well. It's just one of those things, sometimes they do and sometimes they don't, so that just fixes that up. And then just want to punch that out. And then also what I've done is got some vellum wings underneath, just to give a little lift, and add another little touch to the ladybug. So now we'll just pop it all together. So with the leaf, just want to add a little bit of the Stampin' Seal just to the base of that. Just run that around a little bit, so just to get some of that down. Oopsie, it's sticking to me. It's one of those days, isn't it? I'm sure everyone has those days. And then just work out where you want to put the twine. So I've got a little bit here, and then I've just done a little twirl here, and then the other ones are down here, so I've just done a twirl here. And another twirl, just sort of looped around it a little bit skew, and then that too is I've come out from there. So we'll just see how that looks, and I'll just trim that down a little bit. And then take myself off there, and just add some dimensionals just to the gaps. Let's put one in there too. That's probably enough, and then we'll just assemble it. Just going to pop that down there. And then the ladybug's body, which I carefully put away, I'm just going to add some dimensionals to the back of that. I'll probably just put a little half there, half there. As you can see, most of that is, I might move it that way this time, so it does hide a lot of that patchiness. And then the next, I'm just going to put the vellum leaves on, vellum wings on. So I just want to tuck those down a little bit because I want them to poke out from underneath this one here. So oopsie, so I'll just pop that there, and then pop a little bit of glue along the top here. I'm just going to bend those up a little bit too, so that's just going to sit there, and I can have a play around with those once that glue's dried a little bit. And then the next thing I'm going to do is a sentiment. So I've got that here, and I do need a little bit more cardstock. I wish you could see my setup. I'm sitting here, and my chair that normally sits here is sort of pushed behind me, and my cat's sitting on it. So I'm sort of hunched up. But anyway, amazing what you can do. So what I did with this is I stamped it a few times because I want to cut it up, and sometimes when you're cutting between sentiments, it can not be very even, or you end up cutting bits off. So I find if I stamp a few, it just helps. So I'm just going to trim that down. And I'll trim them down more maybe if I need to, because some of these are a bit smaller. Just trim these off. I don't know if you can hear my daughter's banging around in that room next door. It never rains but it pours, does it? So that's just going to quite tight there. So I just want to. So that there, I'm just going to trim that. Actually, I'm just going to do it reasonably even. There. And then the Bug Me, because that's quite close, I won't use that one. I'll use that any time. Yeah. Just trim that. It is a little bit fiddly, and you don't need to. You know, you could just do it all in one piece if you liked. Just sort of wanted to step it down, and so I'll use one of these Bug Me's on here. Right, so we are good to go now. Just put some dimensionals on the back of those. suppose, on that bit of an angle there. So you can pop that up here. See if that's dry a little bit too, so I can just poke those up a little bit. Yeah. So it looks like it's moving. And this might need, see where I can butt that up against there. And then this last one here, down here. And then I've just got these gorgeous little decorative dots. They're matte and they go with this one here. And I've used them in that colour, but I think this time I might use the Parakeet Party ones. And they're different. See, they're slightly, some of them are darker as well, which is nice to have a bit of variation. So I'll just pop those 3 on. And that's it. That's my card. So it was a little bit fiddly, but I think that's cute. And you could pop a different sentiment on if you didn't find that useful. But cute for kids' cards, and nice too, you know, with the way things are. Send out a card, let people know that, you know, they can bug you anytime. You're always happy for that. So thanks very much for watching. Have a great day, and see you back next week. Bye for now.